Welcome to. Oh, you messed me up. You got me off. Oh, jeez, that's all good. It's all good. Welcome to the CFG Gamecast number 10, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Saturdays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. So show us some love. Give us a follow on our Twitch, and check us out on our on any podcast services out there. I am Davis Green with CFG Games, and with me are a group of fellow gamers. And today, as Sessions had to be away again, so instead to take the second seat, I got a special guest, a very cool guy. He's a really good gamer, especially in the classic and the old school and new school, and does his own awesome musics and soundtrack. I'd like you to introduce Jason Heine from Heine House Entertainment to this one. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I know, right? So, yeah, I wanted you a long time ago. I was just like, yeah, I definitely wanted him on the show. So I'm
definitely. Yeah, I mean, we go way back.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, definitely. So what have you been up to?
Just living the dream, working a lot, but, playing lots of games, just really having a great time. I do my own podcast as well, so I'm keeping that up. Producing lots of content, and just, just keeping it real. That's how we do.
Cool. What's your podcast?
So my podcast is called Heine House Live, and I talk about gaming. I do throw in some tech stuff, so it's kind of a merger of the two. I figure if people are into gaming, they're usually into tech as well. So I throw those two bits together, and also talk about some live stuff, some comedy stuff. It's kind of a free form. It's a solo show. A lot of people know me. I've been podcasting I'm actually celebrating my 10th year anniversary podcasting this year in general. And so I just do a solo show, and it's a ton of fun. So, if anyone wants to check it out, please feel free to do so. You can just go to my website, shameless plug, heinehouse.com. That's HEINE, heinehouse.com.
That's cool. Awesome, dude. And I know we're gonna have some good discussions to bring this week. Yeah. And I have the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty as the third seed. What up, man? How you doing, buddy?
What is good? How are you, my friend? Welcome, guys. Thank you. I'm excited. There was a lot of news that happened this week, and I don't know if you guys did you guys see that Streamlabs came out with these creator websites. So I went and I started one. I thought it was a great way to be able to get like all your social media accounts, your Twitch stream. Like you literally have chat on the website as well that you can just interact directly from there and whatnot. So I set one of those up, man. Like I'm super excited about that. Lots of gaming news and stuff. So, been well, man. I've been grinding out Overwatch, getting those loot boxes. My friend Jody actually, she gifted me Death Garden. So I'm going to be playing that later tonight. That game, I played that in beta, and it's from the makers of Dead by Daylight. So it's interesting. It's hard, but it's legit, man. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's the weekend, baby.
It is the weekend. That's awesome, man. Golly, I didn't know that. Oh, first off, I didn't know that OBS actually did something like that. That's pretty cool. But I don't know. I've just been kind of desensitized from going on Streamlabs specifically. But I need to check that stuff out. That sounds pretty awesome. That's a good idea.
Is it a plugin? Is that what it is for that?
No, it's straight up like a separate site, and it's free. Or you can pay to get like your own custom web thing. I think they use GoDaddy for it. So I did end up going ahead because Smitty2447.com was open. So why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
dope. I didn't know about that. I'll have to check that out.
Check it out.
What if you already have a website that you own and then you're wanting to add to it? You know what I mean? Like Confreaks and Geeks, for instance. I own CFG Games and stuff, and then can I link that to the OBS?
Yeah, to that creator site. Yes, you can have because I have my photography portfolio linked in there, so it's like a separate tab that you can click on and it'll pop it open.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I need to definitely check that stuff out. Yeah, but other than that, and 2 weeks away, just a shameless thing. 2 weeks away till E3. I'm debating if I want. Yeah, I'm going to be going. My editor Will's going to be going. We already have. You have no idea. You should see our schedule. Our schedule's ridiculous. But I'm debating if we should do a live podcast there or not. But if we do, I'll definitely give more information and feedback next week on our next episode. So definitely stay in tune. I'm definitely hyped. It's my first time going again. First time going to this. But this time as press, so this is going to be nice. That's going to be very nice. But yeah, so let's get into it. Let me go in. So each of us picks a news topic of discussion within video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be about a specific game or something that happened in the gaming industry. We don't also want to just talk about our own topics. We want the viewers or listeners to check it out too. If you have a topic on your own, go to the very top of the screen. There's a special chat spot that says CFG Gamecast topics. If you have a question that you want us to answer, or if you have a topic that you want us to discuss, we will discuss it at the end of the show. It could be anything. It could be something like why Smitty doesn't want to play any more Division 2 with me. Well, it doesn't matter.
Lie. That is a lie.
Yes, so we can put someone on blast, Smitty. But anyways, yes, anything you want us to do, so we can go. We will do it. And also, if you just want something else in the future, we go on our just email us at the CFG at confreaksandgeeks.com, and we'll definitely set it up at a different time. So, anyways, let's get into it. Since I'm hosting today, I'll go first. Jason, I guess you'll go second. Smitty, you'll go last. So sounds good. So I was talking about. I'm really hyped because this week was probably the biggest amount of games that they've announced that's coming out this week. Some games we already are really hyped, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which was like 2 weeks ago. But the one that I was actually really was kind of one of the games I was really hoping for them to say something about that they're definitely going to be saying more about was Square Enix, because Square Enix had first off is taking the place over for Sony for their E3 press conference. So that's a big shoe to fill. And then now a third-party company like as big as Square Enix is going to be saying, okay, we're going to have a showcase that we want everyone to see what kind of games that they were going to be introducing. I was like, okay, they have to say something about the Avengers game, because I love the old school side-scrolling fighting action games. I was hoping that it wasn't going to be like a fighting game, and then like when it comes out, it's going to be like a Master of Terrakasi kind of scenario, which was crap. But the big thing was that they announced Avengers out the gate, and I was totally hyped. So then a day after that, they did Square did another post stating like a little bit what to come in that Avengers game, and they were saying it was going to be a 4-player multiplayer action adventure game. I was like, oh man, please make it like Ultimate Alliance. That's all I care about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah. So if they're kind of wetting my whistle right there a little bit, just saying these small things and these small little tidbits that they're introducing into it, and they definitely got my captivation. So I was like, okay, I'm all set. And then earlier, like maybe yesterday, they were talking about the Modern Warfare. They're going back to basics with Modern Warfare, the remake, which looks incredibly beautiful. But not a big Call of Duty fan, but I mean, who hasn't played Modern Warfare 2? So I mean, everyone's played Modern Warfare 2 to that extent. And then when they announced certain things like this was going to be a full game, they're not planning on doing DLC. They're just playing once the game comes out, it comes out. Like the level of expectations that this is going to lead me, letting me think, is kind of, well, it's a little bit skeptical. So I guess my topic is, with games like that's coming out, like, does that do those game announcements, did those do anything for you to kind of be like, oh, let's get hyped for E3, or let's get hyped on when this game is when they're coming out. What did y'all think about some of these announcements that were coming out? And it doesn't have to even necessarily be those two games. It could be like Sam Show or whatever, you know. So, you know.
Smitty, you want to speak on that one? You can go first.
I feel like stuff like that is designed for people like me, because I'm a piece of trash and I get on the hype train every time, dude. I will throw my wallet at them. I've been burned so many times, but man, they make it look so good. And I have to be, you know, like I personally have to like dial myself back in and be like, look, like take it easy, like, you know, let it breathe a little bit. See what's coming out. See exactly, like, give me the specifics. You know what I mean? We saw the shiny and new and pretty. We want to get into the specifics now, because that's really what's going to say, all right, man, this game, you know, because I mean, right now, as far as, I mean, even with the Call of Duty, I am a Call of Duty fan. You know, that was one of my first loves. So, you know, seeing this, it was really refreshing seeing her going from Black Ops 4 with no story mode, which was just like, I mean, it was completely jarring to hear that. And we're going to do the battle royale. And it's just like, all right, you know, I'll get on board. But, you know, missing that story mode, like having that as the thing, and not only that, but it's going to be co-op as well. You know, it's going to be a full game. That to me says, all right, they're responding in a way, you know what I mean? They're listening to what people in their community are saying as far as what they want, or at least to an extent, or on the outside. You know, once we crack the nut and we see what's on the inside, then we'll know if it's garbage or, you know what I mean, just, you know, whatever they're trying to do. Right now, though, you know, something like that, they've got me all hyped up, man. They got me all hyped up about it. I wouldn't even think, I was like, I'll pass this one or whatever. Saw that and I was like, all right, man, you might here's my card number and you know, take whatever you need. I got it. So, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. I mean, I really couldn't agree with you more, Smitty. You know, and Davis, just to recap on what you were saying with Marvel, and I'll talk about Call of Duty. I did play Ultimate Alliance, and I mean, playing that co-op was a really fun experience. And I think the first time I played it was, I don't know if it was GameCube or if it was PS2, but you know,
did they have like
it was rough? It was rough around the edges, right? But it was still a ton of fun, man. Still an absolute blast. So I'm excited to see that come back. And and Smitty, I'm with you, dude. Like, I'm the guy that I'll be driving down the street, right? And when I see on the side of fucking McDonald's that they got like a new menu item, bro, I'm whipping the ride right in there. And I'm like, whatever's on that window, that's what I'm ordering. Like, I'm Hype Train City as well. So like when they do this shit to me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bite. But you know, I understand that we also are getting spoon-fed some extra stuff, right? So
right.
It's never exactly like we have to wait for E3 or wait for the official announcement. Like, these are just trailers and stuff to get us hype, and you have to take that with a grain of salt, right? So you know, I understand all that, but yeah. So Davis, to talk about, I want to call you Davies so bad online. I've called you Davies for years. It's hard for me to call you Davis.
It's my fault for that.
It is, and it's okay. You never corrected us. That's fine. It's fine. So fuck it. So Davies, to talk about that. Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I hope it's like that. You know, I hope it's similar to that. But yeah, I'm totally stoked for it too, and looking forward to more of the announcements there. As far as the Call of Duty stuff is concerned, now it's almost become. I feel like it's almost become a fad to like hate on it. You know, it's almost like if I hate on it, I'll be cool with my friends and all that stuff. And that. Sure. Okay. The last maybe 3 or 4 years have been rough for the franchise. Sure. We have kind of gotten the same experience. We kind of haven't seen any innovation. We've kind of seen this stuff. Okay. Yes. I'm a Call of Duty fan. I've been there since day one. And really, I feel like the last real true great Call of Duty game that we got, and I don't care if I get a bunch of hate for this, but I feel like Black Ops was really the last time that I personally sat there and said, you know, this is a really good game. I attached to this game. I feel good about the game, and this is doing something for me. And then since then, it hasn't really done that. And I've been wanting that. So this is why I get frustrated when we get kind of the same thing, and I want something more and different. But again, why fix it when it's not broke, right? I mean, the formula is the formula. I play Battlefield 2. It's kind of the same shit over and over. But then again, even Battlefield, the last 3, 4, 5 years have been terrible for the franchise. Like I still play Bad Company 2. That's my jam. So, man, as far as the Call of Duty is concerned, and as far as this new news, I feel like, okay, we are finally going in at least the right direction. We are at least getting them, like you said, they're listening to the community. Boom, check. They are not doing a fucking like loot boxes and all this other DLC shit. Boom, check. This is great. No season pass. Boom, I'm loving this. Co-op stuff, dude, on the money. So I feel like at least they're listening to the community, and that alone, you know how many devs don't listen to the community. They say they do, but they don't. So I feel good about it. I'm super hyped for it, and for the first time in many years, I feel like I may even day one this new Call of Duty. That's how excited and passionate I am for this new announcement. I haven't even seen anything yet. So yeah, I'm excited.
Super hyped. Well, like I'm kind of my biggest issue. Well, this is the big thing I have. Well, besides the upcoming obvious ones like with Square Enix, as well as Square Enix with the Avengers one, and hopefully, like, I'm praying. Well, we already know that Ultimate Alliance 3 is coming out on the Switch in July, I believe, and then we're gonna get another one of these kind of games here in the near future. I am really hoping to God that the Call of Duty is going to catch my eyes on this, because I'm because from what they showed on the video looked gorgeous. It was actual gameplay, so it wasn't like just like a video cut of what you're going to see in small parts. But like, I just really hope that this that they're not going to really screw with the essence of that game. And the biggest thing is like if they, like I said, when you say no DLC, you already kind of catch me already, because that means I'm getting the game complete, so I don't have to wait. So that's all good. But like with games like and then kind of going back to like Square Enix's thing, like even with Avengers that's coming out, I don't know, like I just hope that there's going to be like Ultimate Alliance, but they need to get something big, like for them to catch my complete interest, and say, hey, Square is coming out with the 2019 lineup. They need to be, because when they said Final Fantasy VII Remake, I'm like, oh, that's great, but it's episodic. It's going to be one episode. It's going to be one part that's going to be like for 4 hours. God knows how long it's going to be. And then we have to wait for a part 2. And we don't know how long part 2 is going to be, or like how long it's going to wait for that to come in, and all these different kinds of things. That's going to be like, okay, so should I even invest in that kind of stuff? So I guess in the meantime, this Avengers game cannot be like that little, oh, hey, we're doing this too, but it's only a 3-hour game, and then you're screwed. You know, like if they do that, I will lose all my interest with Square Enix. That's my biggest fear. But for the most part, yeah, I'm definitely, those two games are making me really hyped. It's so random to kind of say that those are the games that are making me want to I'm looking forward to an E3, but still, you know. So and I know Smitty, you're very, very influenced with because like he was like, dude, Smitty was hardcore into Anthem. He was like Mr. Anthem when it first came out. Like I think he bought that game 3 different times, right?
3 different times, dude.
Wow, really? Okay.
For somebody, I got it on PlayStation. I got it on PC. Yeah. Yep.
All right, so wait, okay, so you're hardcore. See, now I haven't met anyone that's been like super hardcore in Anthem, and I'm actually really excited to hear this. So you were really, really into it. Have you played Destiny then? Do you play that too?
Destiny was the first one that really put me on to that. I put like a shit ton of time into raiding with people. Like that's what like I remember 7 years ago playing Destiny and them announcing Anthem. That's where the original hype seed came from. So I've been on it for the last 7 years, dude. I knew from the get-go I was throwing everything at it. I should have been cautious just from how Destiny played out, and then Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is where I had to stop with Bungie. That's where we broke up. I said, I'm done with you. You're not treating me right. I can't give you any money anymore. And I haven't, you know what I mean? But yeah, dude, like I threw it in, like I did a 24-hour stream the night it came out. So like I have like 170, 80 hours into the game. And I'm like, the loot system's broke. The loot system's not good. There's not, you know what I mean? It's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah.
I love playing.
I was going to ask about that.
Things are dope. Like it's a fun game to play. It's just not fun. It's not rewarding. It's not rewarding. You don't get the loot. There's not a lot of, you know, they made a lot of promises and you know what I mean? It fell short. Now, a year, maybe two down the road, I think it has the potential to be an amazing game. It's not there yet. And I'm not going to spend time playing it. I can't, even though I want to.
I just really hate that when people they have that mentality of like saying, "Oh, it's gonna be good," but give it a year, give it 2 years. It's like if developers like have that mentality, I don't know, like that. There's a big problem because like I've never understood why they have to fix it. And then they give you that, like, it takes that time. Like, they're like, okay, like I said, no, like, I think the prime example, No Man's Sky, took it 3 years to get to that point where it was like, oh, this is a great game. But, like, what about the people that spent $60 at the beginning of that time? And then you're going to tell you that crowd of people, hey, just be patient. Yeah, be patient. We're going to get there. It's like, but we're going to get there, and then just be good with it. And then it's like, yeah, that is the worst mentality as a service that I've ever intended, and that's why I always try to like kind of say, you know what? No, I'm just gonna wait. If it needs to wait, I'm gonna wait till it comes out, and let alone $15. There's a ton of games that come out. And I don't have to do this AAA game when it needs to, but yeah, that's the one thing that people just need. The companies need to stop. It's like you can't do that to people like that. Pay $60, wait a couple of years, then when you finally are done making the game the way you wanted it to, expect it to be like, oh, okay, that's it, that's awesome, you know. So yeah, all right, so we got that there. So now it is going to be Jason's topic. What's your topic, buddy?
Man, I'm just thinking about EA and Anthem, all this shit.
It's on the mind now.
I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about Xbox Gamepass. I want to talk about this because I'm a pretty big PC gamer. I've been in PC pretty much, my whole life, and I kind of represent, the PC movement for, a lot of discussions and topics. So I wanted to bring this up because I find this fascinating. So originally, when I was looking at this, so I'm not okay. When I started, I wasn't really into this whole like subscription gaming type thing. I'm like, I'm not into this. This is frustrating to me. It's like Netflix and Hulu and Prime Video and all these, like, how many of these subscription-based things are we going to get? Pretty soon we're going to be spending $200-300 a month to get just our video and then gaming and this and that. So I'm starting to get overwhelmed by it, kind of frustrated. And I have to sit and I have to understand that we are in a time right now where this is reality and it's happening and there's no stopping it and there's no changing it. So it's almost like you kind of have to embrace it. So I'm trying to embrace it more. I'm trying to look at it realistically, and I'm trying to look at it and see how it makes sense. With that, I started to look at this new announcement that Microsoft came through. And again, they're going to be talking more about this at E3. So we don't have all the details yet. But even like yesterday on Twitter, Phil Spencer is making comments about it. So this is like even up to current, like right now as of recording, new info is coming out. And I'm starting to find this a little bit more exciting for somebody who is a PC gamer, old school PC gamer, Xbox player, but also this is good for anyone. I don't care what side of the street you come from, this is really good news for anyone who uses a computer or has even a relatively decent gaming PC. This could be great news for you. So I'll get into some of the topics of it. So Microsoft says, and here I quote, "A new experience that we're building together with the PC community." Again, they say community. They're talking about that. They're using buzzwords here. Community isn't something they've always been strong with in the PC world, again, saying that they are, but they're not. We've got the Microsoft Store, which is complete shit. We've got Xbox Live, our Windows Live, which was complete shit. I don't want to trigger everyone. It's horrible. And so we've had some hits. Now, on consoles, it's been great. Xbox Live is amazing. I go back to 360 was the greatest online console experience I've ever had. That was an amazing time. But so what they're proposing, let me get into what they're actually proposing here. So what they want to do is they want to bring out a paid subscription-based service. And basically what that enables a gamer to have is at launch about 100 or so, roughly. It says more than 100, so that's like, 101 to start. 100 or so games that will be available on Windows 10. And they're going to be representing publishers like Bethesda, Deep Silver, Devolver, Paradox, Sega, a bunch of developers, which is great. So they're going to be including new releases from the first-party Microsoft game studios as well on day one, which is that's pretty nice. So, this service already exists for Xbox One players. So they're already familiar with this and how this works. But what's really exciting for me is that, okay, so this is like a gift and a curse. So I'm trying to embrace this because I think the convenience factor is nice. It's great for you to be able to just pay a flat rate and have access to all these games, even new games that come out. And what are we talking about? We don't know the price yet. So that's kind of the big question mark. But to have access to it, to get on and download it and play it, this is actually really exciting. And depending on your situation in life, and I bring that up because 10 years ago, when I wasn't as busy, I may have not liked that, but now I say I don't have time and or money to buy a $60 game today and a $60 game tomorrow and new games and then just like come back to it when I have time. I want to be able to just kind of hop on when I have time, when I'm off work, on the weekends, and just kind of throw down on the games and play. But the thing is like I'm sitting here going, wait a minute, I like to own my own games. I like physical copies of games. I know a lot of gamers do. But we live in a digital world. So you see where we're kind of battling, I guess maybe it's just me, but I think a lot of people are as well. So I bring this up. We're kind of battling this teeter-totter of digital, we don't own it, and physical, we own it. We go back and forth, but it's cheaper in the long run. Do we have access to all the games we want? There's a lot of question marks. And I know I'm kind of like spewing a lot of shit here because my mind is just exploding with all these thoughts about it.
Why? Because it's like you're not like but you're not like a normal, like for instance, I think like for you yourself and probably for me, I don't know about Smitty as much, but like you're not like the normal vendor that this is really more sporting out to, because like essentially, you know what I mean? Because like you yourself, because I know that you do shows like Keep Thrifting and stuff like that, because you're looking for stuff to collect. And you like the and then you collect all that stuff, but like yeah, because I'm the same way, because I'm just like, wow, there's hands down, like the way Microsoft is doing it with to add this to PC than when it was with console, it's just an incredible, and it's a great idea, but at the same time you're like kind of wondering, it's like, should I even do that? Like, should I want to own, like, get that service for a monthly, and then after that just say, hey, I can play this game and then I'm done? For me personally, I'm for them to do it, but for me, I can't do it because not only that I like to collect my own game, but I like to just say that even owning the game itself might be the cheaper way, because the long run is I would I'll play the game that I want to play. But they're saying that the bonus is that you have a giant library to choose from. I'm not gonna go in that library and just say, "Hey, let me go play Jade Empire back on the Xbox, back on the Xbox One because I have accessibility to it." I'm gonna be like, "Okay, Gears 5. I'm wanting to play Gears 5, and I'm gonna play Gears 5, play it in my own casual distance, and then just take my time and deal with it, and then I'm done with it." But then, because I'm not really coerced with the other extra games that they give me access to say like for them to just say, "Hey, I'm going to use this service," or I'll try to trick myself to say I'm going to use the service because I can play more than one game. For me, it's not a good fit. But like for other, but to say that if they have it as a reasonable price, I don't see why you wouldn't. Because like right now, like even Xbox One, I think if you're an Xbox One owner, you're better off doing that than you would be buying personal games because there's nothing on that system. I mean, there really isn't anything on that system. But until now, since they with their increase of first party companies now for next gen, it's possible to still say the same thing. But like it's still a slippery slope for me to go all in on that. I mean, would you? I mean, what about you? For you, Smitty?
For me, physical copies of games and stuff, I've moved on from that. I'm not a collector. I'm fine with things being, just digital assets and whatnot. The thing for me, and I said something about this, is it kind of reminds me of like cable companies. You're really only going to watch like 10 channels, but you got to pay for 1,000. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want that. We've already done that type of thing. However, it is exciting for me because again, I've always been PlayStation, Nintendo, and then PC and whatnot. So I never had the opportunity to play any of the Xbox exclusives. I know Halo is coming out on PC. I'm super excited for that because I want to go back and play those, and like those Xbox exclusives are what I'm excited about. Other than that, though, the service to have to pay a monthly service to be able to do that, though, I'm not on board with that. Again, it's just a bunch of wasted assets that I'll never get around to playing. But I'll get like one or two of the games in. I'd rather just outright buy the games and then, okay, good, great. Now I can play it at my own pace, at my own time, while not having to have this continual service that's rolling over every month.
You pay your $60, and that's cool. And then, but like, here's a good prime example of that. You actually got tricked going back to Anthem, actually, which is funny because when you said that you they were going to give you Anthem for free if you bought the 1 year package for Origin. Remember that? Yeah. So and that's what they said. It's like, oh, hey, if you buy the 1 year for Origin's PC, you're going to get Anthem for free. And I'm like, oh, that's great, but wait a minute, this is an online game. I mean, like, so what if you cancel your what if you cancel your 1 year pass, and then you just what's going to happen to your Anthem saves? And then they'll be like, okay, you're screwed. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't do that. There's certain things that's I can't, like, that's the one thing that's like the nightmare that I have. It's like, oh, I put all this time in this first person shooter that I was so hardcore in, and then like. Then after that, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do the monthly. Then that means I have no access to it. And it's like, no, I can't do that,
Dude, I think every gamer ever wakes up in cold sweats in the middle of the night thinking about their saves. So I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
no, you're right. I got duped. Yeah. I got duped. It's a warning.
I'm sorry to bring us back to Anthem every time, but apparently it's just like the perfect fit.
Don't get him triggered, man. Easy.
It's funny because I feel like it's a good option to be on board with this for gaming for a casual gamer. This is perfect. This is good because I mean, like because let's just face it, like gamers now. To what gamers that we're all old dudes. I mean, to gamers how like the attention span of a gamer now is way shorter than what it was back in the days, So like maybe they there will be those people that'll be like, oh, Sea of Thieves, and then after that flip the next day and then just say, hey, Gears, oh, this is story mode. Oh, let me switch over to Halo or something like that, So yeah, I mean, it's a good service, but it's not catered for me. I can't justify that kind of thing, So
Yeah, yeah. And the more you look at it, when you start to put it in that kind of perspective, where you say, it is for more of a casual gamer, and it starts to make a little more sense that way. And you got to think too, if we're marketing this towards a younger gamer audience, it's like, okay, it looks better for parents, right? For mom and dad to be like, okay, I'll throw down $12 or $15 a month or whatever it is, and then they have access to all these games, and I don't have to be constantly taking them over to GameStop and buying them $60 games or what. So you start to look at that, and it starts to make sense more on that way. And I think that's why, and Davies, I think you nailed it. Is I think us being older gamers and being around originally physical copies and then kind of embracing the digital revolution with it, it's kind of doesn't really wear right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So
no, I totally agree.
It's something to definitely look at. But the other thing I wanted to talk about just real briefly was that it's kind of like this two-step process here that Microsoft is doing, and I'm excited for all this. Like we've been kind of shit on by Microsoft for many years, and I mean, not just like the PC world. I feel like the PC world has been hit the hardest, but also they haven't made all the right steps in the Xbox world either. But this other announcement that they brought up is, to be honest, this is the most exciting news for me personally as an old school PC gamer. So step one of this was that they're bringing Xbox first party Xbox Game Studio games to Steam. So they're like, I'm sitting there going, Microsoft, you're taking off your chastity belt. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. I really appreciate it. So what they've announced is that they want to start bringing these Xbox games over to Steam. And I like the way that they're flipping this. Their marketing this is really interesting. So listen to this. And in the article that I was reading about it, they've said, and actually Phil Spencer has gone on and quoted this, saying that we understand that we've listened to the community and we see that gamers want a choice as to where they buy their games. And so this is the whole like Epic Store exclusive shit. It's like shots fired, like bam, 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 right? So they're kind of shooting, taking shots at the whole Epic exclusive stuff, and also Steam kind of locking down some things as well. And Steam being obviously the biggest digital distribution of digital games. So they're saying, all right, well, let's go ahead and let's migrate. Let's move things around, and let's give you, an option to buy our games over here, move them around here. I think it's kind of wise, and I think it's smart on their part, because being exclusive, I think never. Okay, so it may work for your pocketbook, for the developers or the studio or whatever, to make their little internal deals of shit. It's never good for the gamer. It never ends up really being good for us. So for them to kind of say, hey, look, first of all, we're going to bring out this, Xbox Gamepass to PC. We'll give you access here. We're also going to be bringing some games to Steam. This is great news. And the last part of this article, which is the juiciest tidbit of all, and they said that they are going to be also committed to supporting Windows 32 games on Windows 10. This is huge. So like that one sentence is actually a huge fucking bombshell, because we're talking about, when they say Windows 32, and I'll just briefly explain for any listeners who may not understand what Windows 32 is, it's talking about the Windows operating architecture. So we have 32-bit Windows, we have 64-bit. That's obviously related to the architecture and the processor and all that. 32-bit and 64-bit, they don't like each other. They do not communicate with each other. And when developers were developing games back in the day, like Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows 2000, and even in Windows 7, which had both versions, had 64-bit and 32-bit, we were kind of having a transition period. It was a really rough time. Those older games did not work on the newer stuff. So for them to come out and say Windows 32 games, now we don't know the list, and it's going to be only what they say and what they pick, right? But still, it's a little bit of a glimpse to say, we're going to go back in time, and all the old school Windows XP games that we loved and played, they're going to try to bring some of those up to 64-bit operating standards and compatibility. This is just a great this is not bad at all. This is fantastic, and I'm super happy to see them say this and for them to even be looking in this direction. I was not expecting this, and again, they don't need to look in this direction. Like honestly, they probably should be focusing resources on the future and doing other shit. But this is what they're saying is this is a multi-process step into kind of getting the community together and offering these services. And I got to hand it to him, man. I talked about this maybe a couple of weeks ago on my show. I was like, I'm interested in what Microsoft's going to do. They've been pretty quiet, right? Up until this point, they've been pretty quiet. So to hear all this is,
you know what's funny to me?
I'm stoked about that.
It's funny because like the way I look at it is that no, don't get me wrong. They're saying they're going the right directions, the right steps for people to be gaining for Microsoft, for people to be gaining Steam on Microsoft's side. But I like it when you say that they didn't have to go that way. I kind of beg to differ because I think that they needed to, because like the biggest problem was with Xbox One, which was the biggest misstep, was that there was no games on that system. So the biggest problem was that they were trying to introduce that system as a all-in-one box that could do all the stuff like cables, sports, all this different kinds of stuff. But the one thing which was gaming was like put in the far distance in the backfield. Now they were in a position where they're getting destroyed by the Switch's library. Even like Switch is like what 2 years old, younger than what the Xbox One came out, and plus with PlayStation 4's first-party support. Towards that, they were getting destroyed by that stuff, that they needed to change. They needed to pivot to that point to say to cater for gamers. So so I feel that when they got to that point where they were like saying, okay, we need to do this, and this. Xbox Gamepass was probably one of the best things that came out from all of this. Then last year when they announced all these different kinds of first party support, like they are focusing on the gamers thing, which leads it to a healthy competition in the gaming spectrum. So the one thing that like me personally, I have never bought Xbox. Like I have never bought an Xbox One or anything ever for this, because I felt that it wasn't something that I would ever back from the most part as a gamer. But like what they're trying to do and what they're trying to push on this, to especially for all gamers alike, and then them wanting to share the thing with Steam, and also doing the backwards compatibility with Nintendo, showing that they're actually dedicated towards this, is showing the steps necessary for them to have a stronger set. And then the bigger thing is for first party support, by gaining those 10 studios that they bought last year, hopefully they do good things with it, but we'll see. Like they're definitely are dedicated on trying to get people back. So like I said, they're doing a great job. I really want to know what they're going to be doing in the future. They've been really quiet about what's going on. Hopefully they'll give us some more on E3 on like what it is for the future towards it. But yeah, they're in a situation where they're like they need to take some good steps to keep people in and interested on their gaming side. So and they're doing a great job on it. That's why like I said, like I root for Xbox, even though I'm not a fan of Xbox, but I root for Xbox because it shows good competition, good healthy competition to bring the other distributors like Nintendo and Sony on their A game to keep it up, you know. So yeah, so that's that. I mean, so that's on me. I mean, what, anything you want to add, Smitty?
I mean, I agree with that. They do have to, because their fan base has been, or I don't know. I guess I don't know if you'd say dwindling, but I know that there's a lot of people that are not happy with some of the things that came out. Again, I've never been an Xbox person. I don't know why. I just never, I was just like, I wasn't really feeling it, I guess.
Those are go-to
but
games.
Some of the things that you're saying, as far as what a company, they do have to make that, make those steps and start exploring, because Nintendo, who is, it hadn't, the Switch is just, they came out like a wrecking ball, you know what I mean? So it's like they have to step up their game, because everyone else, otherwise they're just going to get left in the dust. And then it was, hey, remember that one time when there's that system called the Xbox? They don't want to become that. So the moves make sense. They're using the right words. They're looking at what the community wants, and they're moving in the direction to be able to cater and listen to what their community's been asking for. So, to me, that's a positive. And then, yes, it's gonna foster healthy competition. It's gonna make other people continue to be innovative and step up their game. So, to me, that's a win-win all around.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think it's fantastic. And again, just like you said, I think we can go back to really thank Nintendo for for doing this sort of thing. And they've always kind of been about backwards compatibility to an extent. They've always kind of fostered that, and it really gets Sony and Microsoft to kind of take a step back and look at it and say, okay, well, we need to try to embrace this a little bit and do that. And even Nintendo coming out with the mini consoles. I mean, hello, it got Sony off their ass, it got Sega off their ass, it got and so it's like, okay, we're going somewhere. And Microsoft has tried lots of things with their Xbox, right? I mean, you remember the announcement at E3, right? It was all about sports, right? It was just like, it's going to be a glorified remote at the end of that E3. I was like, what the fuck are we looking at, So they've definitely made it some attempts. They've tried all these different things. And this direction, I think it's welcomed. I think it's great.
Big time. All right, great. Okay, so and finally we got Smitty's choice right here. So Smitty, take it away.
So the big announcement for me, obviously, is Death Stranding. That game we saw here. It's been a couple years now since we saw the first trailer for it, and everybody was like, "What the hell did I just watch?" It's by Kojima. I already knew. I already knew going into it they can have my money. I know he's going to put out a solid product. I know the story is going to be amazing. It's going to have amazing visuals, and so far from what we've seen, they just released a trailer this past week, which gave us some context to what we've seen over the last couple of years. We got to see some gameplay, which looks really, really smooth. The visuals are gorgeous. Norman Reedus and some other stars are in the game. So this is really exciting, especially in a time where everything is so multiplayer and this and that. To have a solid single player game, at least I think it's going to be a single player game, something with a gorgeous story. They focus on creating this world, and this gorgeous story is super exciting for me, man. I am so down this rabbit hole. I have been since the moment I saw it. That studio, everything about what I've seen is just, that's what they do. If you're a fan of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, what they're capable of creating, the story, the lore, everything, the whole world. I'm excited, and I don't know where they go from. If there's going to be more, if there's going to be a bigger story to this, or a bigger universe to this, or we just getting a small glimpse of something that we don't even know. I don't know, man, but it makes me really excited. They showed some in-game play from it, man. That the mechanics look smooth. There's vehicles you can use. We got some context as to what the world looks like, what they're living in, what they're having to do, and really, what the mission is, I guess. Sort of. So, Like, I don't know, man. Like, this thing's got me excited. I will absolutely pre-order it. My one thing, and again, I know that they always do this stuff, is always with these collectors, and special edition shit, in-game stuff. Like, I hate that stuff. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, again, and there's something in there that's got, like, there's a thing called the Gold Speed Skeleton. My only issue with that would be is if it gives you an advantage in the game out the get-go. I have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Again, I don't know. It could just be a cosmetic thing. I don't have a problem with cosmetic things, but it's like, I'm not going to waste my money on that stuff. And there's some physical little things that go with it too. But yeah, it's like, dude, I just want the game. And blast that in my eyeballs, in my face. I am so pumped on this game, dude. I think I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be amazing. I hope it's gonna be amazing. Please be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, all I know is I was at work and I just see Twitter explode, and I'm like, okay, let's watch this trailer. And so I put the trailer on. And I don't have any sound, so it's just the video. And I knew this was something special when I'm watching the trailer with no sound and got goosebumps all over my body. I'm like, oh my. I mean, first of all, the game looks, and to speak onto your point, the game looks unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Just the vegetation, the grass, the landscape, just the little small things that usually either one get overlooked or two are really difficult to develop and make look nice, like hair and particles and grass and all that. That's a really difficult thing to make look real. But it's unbelievable in this game. It looks so fantastic. The colors are so deep and vibrant, but everything is in certain sections of it, it's dark and gritty, and it just really paints this really beautiful, and I hate to say the word epic, but it's like epic proportions here, dude. It looks really nice, and it looks like we may have weather effects and all this sort of thing going on. Man, like, there's just kind of blindsided everyone. I think it blindsided the internet, right? I mean, what a beautiful trailer. By the way, it's a 9-minute trailer.
Crazy.
Just saying, so check that out if anyone is hasn't seen it yet. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, if you haven't you definitely missed out if you haven't seen it. You know what would be funny though, Smitty? I was just thinking, it's like you get that 9-minute trailer, you get the game, and then it just says you just got Kojima, then it's just Tecmo Super Bowl.
Oh my.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. If
I would be so man, you don't even want to know.
You'd be like,
you don't even want to know.
Get Kojima'd.
Yeah, you just got Kojima'd. Yeah,
oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, what's to say about this? I mean, dude, Kojima is probably one of the biggest influential, designers that's out there throughout the past. I mean, on our time. I mean, Metal Gear was, despite how kind of the flop. I won't say Metal Gear 5 was a flop, but it was rushed, so it wasn't the full complete vision. But it was still it was still amazing. What was going on, and now we got a full Kojima game, 4 years in the making from when it was initially announced, when all that stuff was happening, and then now you're seeing what you can do, and we actually see gameplay. This was the first thing that revealed the gameplay, and I really feel that what makes this game even more special is that this game isn't catered. I don't think this game is catered for everybody, because I don't think that it's catered for the casual gamer. It really isn't, to me, because the way that how the game is going to make you feel, I feel like the game is more set for people that are just that it's going to do just fine to give it to the hardcore, either the hardcore people, the people who are Kojima fans, the people who love story modes and stuff, but people who have short attention spans. I don't think this is going to be for for that type. And I really think that they pushed on it, because he even said that this was going to be a one-player story-driven game. And then if you played any of it, like the Metal Gears back in his time, he doesn't mess around with that kind of stuff. So let alone being open world, and the weird plots of what's going on, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on that I have hundreds of questions for. But I'm going to try to keep my expectations to a minimal. Not saying that he's not to being disappointed, because there's not been one Metal Gear game that I've ever been disappointed in that he's ever done. But I will try to keep myself kind of mental, just until it comes out, because I know that's a day one that I'm definitely gonna get. I mean, there's no questioning in my mind that I'm gonna feel disappointed. But it's kind of funny. It's a cool topic that you mentioned about the collector's edition. It's yeah, you're totally right. I didn't even really think about it until that. It's if they give you a bonus because that you bought the collector's edition because you can run faster, that does feel like it would be a little bit of a broken thing at the very initial, So
that's a troll, man.
That is a troll.
Now, the red flag that I saw, I was like, wait a second. I was like, what? Is that a cosmetic thing, or does that make them? Because it says speed booster. I'm like, what is that all about?
Yeah.
Don't get Kojima'd.
Don't get Kojima'd. Yeah, you will watch out. But here's the biggest thing though, because when I thought about it, it's you know what? You're right, because if you ever played the new Resident Evil 2, the HD the remaster. There was if you had the pre-order, you get the Samurai. It's a handgun that was stronger than the normal gun was. So I was just so you do get a little bit of a bonus on that, and I was yeah, that does kind of suck if you do that, if they throw that in. That's why I don't like those digital DLC contents when you first get these games. So,
yeah, I do not like that at all.
Yeah, so I mean, I know I'm definitely looking forward to this game. I don't think that it's going to disappoint any of us, Yeah, I cannot wait to play the sucker in full, like, 4K. That's where I'm gonna go. Go
You know,
say.
you have games like Rage 2 that just recently came out, and prior to that coming out, the whole team and interviews and all that, they're saying, look, it's a single player campaign experience, it's open world, you run around, explore, do your missions, do whatever, side quest, explore our world, enjoy our world, become part of our world. That is all that sounds great to me as a gamer. It's something I want to do. And then when you actually throw them into that world, and I haven't played it, so I can't, officially say, but from what I've been reading, people are saying, oh, I beat it in like 6 hours. I went through it, or 7 hours. I'm just like, oh my God. And they went on record and said, we have enough content in this game. We have enough for you to do that we feel the single player, no co-op, no multiplayer, no online connectivity as far as that's concerned. They said, we have enough content to warrant the purchase for a single player experience. And when they go on record and say shit like that, I'm like, okay, I'll believe you then. Like, thank you. I appreciate that. And then it comes out and it falls flat. And that really is frustrating for a gamer. So you have stuff like that that's happening. But then when you see this here and, it's Kojima behind it, you're going, they have to do it right.
Yeah,
definitely.
They definitely do.
Right?
But then again, like, doesn't that kind of depend on how the player plays it? Because like a 6 hour game, that means that I feel like that dude just didn't do any side missions, didn't do any kind of exploratory. Like, what's funny? One of my favorite PS4 games that came out that not a lot of people have said much about, Mad Max. Have you played Mad Max before? Like, it is a fun game. It's like I guess it's a sandbox, but you could beat that game in 4 hours. But what makes that game fun is what you can do in that game. It's like it could be like, 'cause like it took me 40 hours to beat when it was all said and done. But I guess when I hear people say that they beat these games in short periods of time, it's like you do have to question yourself, like, how did you play that game though? Because like 6 hours is like for a developer to be that off to say, oh, okay, it only took me 6 hours to beat the game. That means that person kind of rushed, because there's no way I can see that they got all the full experience that the developer was describing, what you can and can't do and everything like that, because someone was either speedrunning it. And I mean, some people like to play that way, but I don't know. That's not my bag, so I think
it's completely subjective. Again, you nailed it. I mean, how are they playing it? How are they going through it? Are they like trying to rush it just so that they can talk shit about it after? Like, you don't really know, how it really goes down. I mean, I spent 40 hours in Far Cry 5, and that was just me screwing around on side missions and exploring and grabbing Jeeps and running over people and doing all kinds of fun things. And it's like, that's what it's about. So I mean, I talk like that. I say that stuff, but I also, you take it with a grain of salt, because you don't know how people are necessarily playing it. I mean, everyone plays different, so.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's not the first time I heard that. Doc just finished it too, and he said that it felt short to him. Yeah. So I've heard a couple people talking about it. So again, I don't know. I didn't really like look into it or see what it is, or what kind of stuff that they have. I don't know if it's just people rushing through it, or, are they completely going through and doing all the side missions, and, it's probably just getting through that main storyline that they're talking about, but there's still like a bunch of other stuff to do. Again, for me, that kind of, I have a hard time going through finishing the main storyline and then going back and finishing everything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do it on that first run, like going and doing all the stuff and whatnot. I'm probably not going to go back. I'm going to try to, because that's what I did with God of War. I finished the main storyline, but I have like other things that I still want to go back and do and stuff. Like, I think that's probably like a game that I will actually go back and do it, because it's a great game. But yeah, it's I was just like, people are saying it's short and this and that. Like, that's one that I'll wait for it to get on the sales rack, and maybe I'll take a look at it or something like that, or maybe it's in a humble bundle or something,
Yeah, I mean,
Totally.
It's hard for me to play buy a first person shooter game for $60, because I don't have a story driven first person shooter game, I should say, more like it, unless I know it's a BR or if it's a multiplayer game on the basis. But other than that, like, it's because I played Rage 1. Rage 1 was pretty fun. I think it was a sleeper hit, and but when I saw Rage 2 kind of coming out, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun to play. But it's like, do I really want to play? Do I really want to spend $60 on this? It's like, nah, I'll wait. I can wait and see where that goes. But no, like I said, the Humble Bundle will be perfect for it. And see, but So until I check it out, then I'll probably want to confirm it if it is like short, because I do like to explore a lot of different nooks and crannies and stuff like that. So
that's half the fun of the game, man. Just exploring.
People
who rush through them like, the hell's wrong with you? Like, go explore. Have some fun.
I'm doing it right.
Yeah, right.
You remember back in the day, like the reason why games were so hard was because they want you they kind of forced you to kind of get either better or stronger or find things to give you that edge, because the games were the game, they wanted you to feel like you're spending your values worked on the game. But now when you have that choice of like saying, hey, it's like if you're good enough, then you can actually beat that sucker in that short period of time. It's kind of like, oh well, it's all good. But it's really funny. We'll definitely see. Death Stranding, we'll know it's going to be good. I mean, consistently, Kojima hasn't failed. I don't think Kojima's made one bad game, so we'll see how it goes. And we'll definitely check how psychedelic his trip is going to be. So. All right. Well, I guess we could stop stop this up from here. Jason, one more time, you like to plug your stuff that you like to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Again, thanks for having me on, Davis. It's such a pleasure to finally get on and chat with you. And awesome. Smitty, it's also great meeting you. Absolute pleasure. Everyone you want to check out, I got a podcast as well, Heine House Live. Talk about gaming, talk about tech, some comedy, all kinds of fun stuff in there. I got YouTube, I got Twitch. There's a lot of stuff that's going on out there. But if you want to learn more or come hang out with me, just visit my website, heinehouse.com. That's where it all is. HEINE, heinehouse.com. That's it. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you. And always, you can check out Smitty's awesome adventures in Overwatch and other games. He's a variety streamer every day. What is did you change your schedule? Like,
Thursday, Friday, Saturdays now.
Oh, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. Okay, so basically Thursday, Friday, Saturdays nights. Plays like a good abundance and have some really good laughs on Smitty2447. And you can also check us out, CFG Games. Here in the fairly soon future, we're going to be actually changing it up, because I actually found a good place. So I'll start bringing my stream station back up. But in the meantime, we are doing Tales of Vesperia with friends every Sunday night, Sundays at 12 p.m. Central. So that's so I think they're about to beat the game. So, but it's a four player free for all. So definitely check all that stuff out. Thanks. If you like what you see, just give us a follow here. And definitely check us out to our next episode, which will probably be on Smitty's channel next week. So this is Davis signing off on episode 10 of CFG Gamecast. Y'all have a great day.